he's referencing Aristotle, and basically saying that stories, some key components that they need to have is that stories need to have action and event. So we need to target those specific moments, trying to really home in on what is the actual action that is occurring, what is the actual event that situates the poem. Those are going to be key for us. Additionally, a dramatic focus on a single action. When we start doing some time travel, when we start, adding entire seasons or years, what tends to happen is we can actually start diluting what is occurring in the poem, which then can make the piece a lot less impactful. Another element of poetry that Aristotle identifies that poems need to have an important sequence, right? In terms of the start, the middle, and the end. And that's not to say that necessarily they need to occur in that order, but whatever order the poem decides to be in, it needs to occur in such a way that if you switch any of the pieces, any of the component parts, then the poem starts to fall apart. Everything needs to be structured in a way that makes logical sense for that specific piece. Another aspect of story that Aristotle highlights is trying to find beauty in the harmony of proportion. What is this proportion? I think to my days, so I'm an ESL teacher, and we had to do a lot of research writing with students because a lot of times they were working on their very first essays. They may not have been used to writing in a Western context. What we see with essay writing in particular is we need to make sure our argumentation feels a little bit balanced. What can happen sometimes is you see this student that writes this super long body paragraph. So one element of the argument is getting a lot of attention, but then later arguments, especially tends to happen towards the end, those arguments only get a couple of lines of information and explanation. Where are the sections of a poem that aren't doing what is happening elsewhere? And is that shift intentional or not? Speaking of turns, this is something that Aristotle also mentions as well with regards to the pivot, the importance of having a moment of discovery or also potentially a reversal. That change, that twist is what allows the story to really come alive and to carry some significance for our readers.